Hello and welcome to another episode where we are back playing Foundation. Last episode we were able to complete the Labour pathway, which means we've completed both Labour and Clergy and Common pathways now, and so this seems like a ripe old time to start the final pathway, which we haven't even touched yet, the Kingdom pathway. We're going to be building sort of armies and a castle and stuff, and full disclosure, I've really not played through this pathway before, so this is going to be a learning experience for you and me as we go along, but hopefully we can figure it out. And I have positioned us here looking over this nice hill that we have sort of in the centre of our map, and I've thought from the beginning that this would be a great place to put a castle when we build one. We could have our fortifications going around the edge and the castle in the middle and any other activities. There's also some space around the bottom for a bit of spillover if it's necessary. Obviously we're going to need to deforest everything up here to prepare for it. As ever, our coin situation is suffering, so it's probably not the best time to be embarking on a big build project, but hey ho, that's the situation we're in, so we'll just have to try and fix it as we go along. So looking at our progression menu under the Kingdom branch, the first thing we're going to want to do is simply unlock this castle, which thankfully only costs 25 coins, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And that is going to unlock a castle keep, a barracks, an armory, and a great hall. There we go, now we've unlocked that. Hopefully we can make a bit of a start on deforesting this area up here so that we can begin to build it. For that we are also going to need to purchase a couple of territories. This is also going to be expensive, so perhaps I'll have a bit of a fiddle around with some of our trade and various things to see if I can improve our coin situation briefly first. Okay, I went through our royal book and had a look at the resources we were trading and figured out there were probably a few more that we could trade, so our coin balance has gone up a bit. I mean, we will almost certainly probably immediately need to sell it on refined food because that is most of what we import, but we do have enough probably to start working on our castle. So let's go ahead and buy all of the territories that we are going to need for this project. Okay, it looks like we are pretty well connected, so now we will need to turn this all into a deforestation area and get a lumberjack up here. So I've been waiting quite a long time for this wood to clear out on top of the hill where we want to build the castle, and I've just been futzing around with the kind of trade levels and stuff, seeing if I can balance the books a bit better. And one thing I'm noticing is we are sort of consistently having we've got excess wool, and the only thing we can export is common clothes. So I'm actually thinking I might destroy this sheep field that was one of our sort of starting fields, partly because there's also a bit of a need for housing around here from some of the other businesses, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And that means I can go ahead and paint in a little bit more residential area as well, perhaps down along here. We also built out a whole load of fishing huts down on this lake to try and restore our rustic food. We are looking at a little bit of a deficit. And again, with refined food, that just seems to bounce up and down no matter what I do. So thought we needed a few more fishing piers. So I've had to rearrange this market over here slightly because I think having 2 resource depots next to each other didn't seem to be working. And we have cleared quite a lot of space up on this hill, so I think we are probably just about ready to begin to build our castle. So if I come down here and go to monuments, that is where I find the castle. And to begin with, I'll build this castle keep, which requires a keep, and a training part, and interior access. There we go, and I think we'll start with this. It's only small, but I do plan on pretty much expanding out this castle to cover the whole top of this hill, so I don't think we will be lacking for space in the future. There we go, and now we can let that be built out. And I will also build another builder's hut just a little bit closer by to help with all this building. Another thing I wanted to do to see if I could help fix the refined food shortage was to add a couple of 2 market stalls for each of the types of refined food, so meat, cheese and bread, so that when one of these markets runs out of either meat, cheese or bread, potentially there'll be some available in the other stall, just to try and fix these shortages. So perhaps let's experiment with that in this market first. And our castle keep is beginning to be built, which means we can add a company. And that is asking in the first instance for 5 guardsmen, which luckily we have available to us, so let's go ahead and add them. And we now have a new tab up here calling itself Army. So it looks like the first thing we might be able to do is go out on strategic patrol. Although it doesn't look like we can do that quite yet. And it looks like they're already out training, which is good. Oh, and the king has gifted us 50 spears, which is probably pretty good. And our first piece of advice for preparing a military army. So let's accept this quest. And I kind of assigned spears to this armory, so I've done that, and it looks like we have to employ maybe a couple of transporters as well. And our might is currently 0 out of 0. Seems like we need to equip them with weapons. Not entirely sure how to equip them with weapons. And I've added a bunch of little weapon storage in our armory to try and up our splendour. And it looks like I'm going to need to improve the happiness of my combatants before we're able to send them on any missions. And happiness for everyone is a bit of a problem at the moment with our food shortages. Okay, it looks like I'm ready to deploy my company, and the success probability is fair, so I suppose I'll take that. I don't know if I'm able to have more than 5 guardsmen currently, or that would increase my success probability, but let's go ahead and deploy these guys. And we have just reached Kingdom Tier 2, which if we look on the progression menu means we can now unlock a whole bunch of new things, and I'm going to unlock a few of those now, and we can play through building them in the next episode. So I'd like to get some better weapons, so I'm going to unlock sword warfare and bow warfare. I'd also like to unlock provisions and a royal courtier. I will also unlock spear warfare just so we can still make a few of those. And finally I will unlock a tier 2 kingdom privilege, which we can go ahead and put into action in the royal book. And I'm going to go first of all for this building upkeep reduction. And with that, I will end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, where we will be continuing to build out our castle and improving our armies.